You're listening to the Serurubele Storyteller Series. This year, Pop Art Theatre teamed up with the Market Theatre Laboratory to bring you 4 new story collections by 18 young storytellers. All you need to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is Fish Out of Water.
Welcome everyone. My name is Nomcebo, also known as Wabi Sabi. Yes, I'm your incredible host, and I'm not alone. I'm with my fabulous co-host. I have here Buntu. Buntu, please say hi to the people.
Good morning, beautiful people. My name is Buntu, and I'm really happy to be here today to share my stories with you guys.
Oh, nice having you, Buntu. I cannot wait to hear a story. We have Muzi Trust. Say hi, my brother.
Hello, and Muzi Trust learner. I'm happy ubasendlini and ngizonitshela ngestory sami.
Sijabulele ukuthi usijoyine namhlanje bhuti wami. And last but not least, we have Nonhlanhla Sadiki.
Hello guys, my name is Nonhlanhla Sadiki and I'm excited to share piece of me with you.
Oh yes. So today, guys, we have a beautiful theme called A Fish Out of Water. And we all agreed, right? It meant uncomfortability and being out of your comfort zone, really. So I would like Buntu Teza to start us off with his story. Over to you, Buntu.
All right, thank you so much, Nomcebo. So I'll speak to an incident that happened back in 2017 in my life when I was 20 years old. And I remember driving from school. I was driving back home and I was driving on Wang Street in Cape Town, Hardway. And I was driving on this very long road and I was driving behind this pickup truck. It was this very old, beat-up pickup truck, and I was listening to Mac Miller at that time because, believe it or not, when you're 20 years old and when you're sad and lonely, and you come across a lyric that goes, I just want a way out of my head, and I'll do anything for a way out of my head. And Mac Miller being this rapper who spoke to the troubled youth, as he also struggled with drug abuse and alcohol and bipolar disorder. He's basically the poster child for a person that doesn't fit in with everyone else. And I really related. I was listening to him and I was like, this guy gets it. He's probably the only person that gets it. And he just verbalized this thing that I've been feeling my entire life. And he just understands me. You know, it's weird that it's Mac Miller, but, you know, I'll take it, you know. So I'm driving behind this big beat-up pickup truck, and so the truck's indicators, they turn on, right? He's going to make a left. I see the driver's going to make a left, and I'm going to pass him on the right. And as I proceed to do so, I see that he's made one of those, I probably shouldn't have turned yet, you know, and he's coming back into the lane. And at that point in time, I think to myself, I should probably hit the brakes, you know, but then I don't. Because this way, it's just a car accident, you know, and no one is going to judge a boy that dies in a car accident, because I didn't want my parents to walk around town being the parents of the boy who killed himself, you know, and it's just that we have this thing as people, we really judge people when they die of suicide. I think it's this weird thing that we've given ourselves permission to do. It's very strange. And I think because it's a branding thing, you see, suicide has like a tagline. It's like, suicide, the coward's way out, you know? And it's very condescending. It actually sucks, you know? If it's a tagline, I mean, a tagline is supposed to get you pumped, you know, like Nike, you just do it. You know, I'm not just saying suicide should take that route, but when I think about it, Burger King, have it your way, kind of sounds just about right, you know? So I never really understood the phrase cowardly about suicide. I feel like suicide for me is a person who's had problems and they struggle through life and they couldn't handle it anymore. And that's a lot of things, but I don't think that it's suicide. It's cowardly, you know? So I'm driving behind this pickup truck and I don't hit the brakes. So I accelerate and the truck hits me head on, right? It hits me and it drives me to this driveway and so this, unfortunately for me, this section of Hardway is built on a hill. So the driveway has like a retaining wall, and the car hits the hill straight on. It hits the wall straight on, and then it comes crashing down. and it's bouncing and it's bouncing. So I'm all over the place in the car, and with each and every inhale and exhale, I'm beginning to lose breath, and it feels like jumping off a plane and falling down without a parachute. And with each and every breath that I take and each and every exhale, I feel like I'm just nearing closer and closer to death, up until it becomes quiet. And every sound is drawn out, and I can't hear a thing. And my senses come back to me, and I hear the sound of this front aluminium door squeaking open, and I hear this voice that goes, "What happened?" And the second aluminium door goes open, and it's another voice that's going, "What's going on?" And there's a third aluminium door that goes open, and that says, "We must try to figure it out." And I'm just sitting there in that car trying to make sense of these people arguing whether I'm dead or alive. And I'm just trying to get my wits about me in the car. And I slowly try opening my eyes, and I see this big masculine figure. It's this guy. He's wearing this flannel shirt with a pair of Daisy Dukes. And he looks very disconcerting. He's the arms of this flannel shirt are torn off, and he looks very scary. Not even because of the muscles, but because of the fact that I can see that he's agitated. You can see the rage and fear, and I mean, not fear, but anger in his face. And at this point, I'm really, really, really scared. This guy shouts, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck you up." And I start panicking. And at this point, I'm really, really scared. And then he comes over to the car. He tries to open, but I tell him I can't open because this side of the door is curved in. It's the damaged one, and I can't open it. And then he says once more, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck you up." And he goes around the other side of the door, and there's this very, very weird American guy, and he's trying to calm the situation down, and he says, "Come on, man, you don't gotta do this. You know, it's just a little boy." And this guy, the truck driver, says, "What?" And so this American guy tries once more to calm him down, and then he says, "Come on, man, he's just a little boy." And I don't know for what reason, but the truck driver turns and he walks away. And I never understood why. But then this American guy, he comes over and he helps me out of the car, and he asks if I'm okay. And I tell him, I say I'm okay. And I say to him, "Thanks, man, you saved me." And I really felt bad because, yes, I felt like there was a lot more to be said in that situation and at that time, because yeah, sure, you saved me, but you saved me in that immediate sense. You saved me because I actually did that. I'm the one who acted on that impulse, and I never ever thought in my life that I could reach a moment where I act on an impulse and that could potentially put my life in danger. And I remember later on that night, I called my best friend and I told her, I said to her, this had happened and I don't know what to do. And she said to me, "You have to tell your mom or I will." And I'm really, really glad, because at that time she took the decision out of my hands. It was either I was going to tell her or she was going to do it for me. Although at that time I really was not feeling the situation at all. And so I headed back home and I opened the door of my house, and I went into my mother's bedroom and she was sleeping. And so when I got inside, I reached out to wake her up. And just before I could touch her, she was sleeping. And just before I could touch her, there's a feeling of disappointment that settled inside of me, because I knew that was probably the last time in my mother's eyes I would be a normal boy, without any problems, without any struggles, and that held me back. But before I could let that thought reside in my mind any longer, I summoned up the strength to shake her open. To wake her up. And so I shaked her, and she woke up. She was really scared, and she didn't know what was happening. And I looked at her as she was trying to find her glasses, and she looked at me, and I blurted out the words, and I remember saying to her, "Mom, I'm scared. I'm really scared. I'm having these suicidal thoughts and these impulses, and I acted on one of them this evening, and I'm really scared, and I don't know what to do." And I remember she was very blindsided by this and frightened. I never ever want to see my mom in that state of panic ever again. And she just looked at me and she said to me, "It's okay. I've always known." Thank you so much for listening to that. So
Ooh.
following the next story is Nomcebo Konoti.
Damn, Buntu. The water works, nigga. That was a very touchy story. My story was back in 2017, right? Bengisafunda at Boston Media House, media practices. I only did it for a year. That very year, ngami to babam, because babam angikhulanga naye bengingamazi, but I knew of him in grade 3. So I knew of him, but I never knew him until 2017. 2018, we decided, okay, let me move away from home, from my mother's house. Let me move in no babam and his family. Obviously, as much as I'm excited about the move, I'm also anxious. How is it gonna go? Like, am I gonna get along with my dad? Like, are we gonna have a good father and daughter relationship? Those questions, that's normal. I'm a person, So yeah, being a lot of my questions and I got there. Me and my sisters clicked. We clicked so well on so many levels. Sonke sithanda umgrovo, sonke sithanda utshwala, So it made me feel like, okay, I'm at home. I'm not, an outsider. I'm not the odd one. So I'm in a group of people who are just like me, So that made me feel at ease. Yeah, kumnandi because we do everything together. I like kumnandi. Me umntana God's favorite. Yes, God's favorite child. Yeah, God's favorite child. Until this 2020, I hate 2020 lockdown. When the first lockdown happened, I feel like bonke lwamnandi, that's when things just went downhill, because me and my dad avoided having a relationship. I could say none of us were actively trying to, okay, let me try and build a relationship with the other one. It was just a good morning, good night. That was it. The only relationship I had was with my siblings and my stepmom. But lockdown forced us to, like, you know what, I'm gonna get to know you. Whether you like it or not, we are forced to, because we are in each other's space 24/7, and being in each other's space 24/7, it means we're gonna rub each other the wrong way, and that's what happened. I feel it was needed because we started arguing a whole lot. There were a lot of arguments, a lot of fights about us going out, even if we know it's locked down, but we'd go out because we are the youth. We are the youth and we want to enjoy life. I was just like, fuck COVID. Our big disagreement was, so I went to my dad this other time, and I sat him down. I was like, Dad, I just want to confess, because I knew he was curious. Every time I would go out, he would want to follow me, and it's weird. So I was like, you know what, let me just make things simpler and easier for him. Let me just tell him, like, Father, I smoke, but I only said I smoke cigarette, not the other stuff. I was like, Dad, I smoke. And I also drink, because my dad had this image that I was this innocent, But yeah, I felt like when I told him, he was so understanding. He was like, oh, no. It's fine, I understand. And I cancel people who smoke, so I get it. So I'm like, oh, okay. I came to the right person. Jiggy, there's a meeting for me, a family meeting for me. And I'm like, okay, what's up? But I'm not thinking they're going to tell me about what I just addressed, or what I just confessed. My dad sits me down and my stepmom is there. So my dad was like, I'm not going to hold a meeting when your sisters are here, because you guys, you will defend the other one, So I want you one by one. So today is your turn. Sits me down and he's like, hey, bruh, we've allowed you to do things we've never allowed any child in this house to do. We've allowed you to smoke, we've allowed you to drink, and basically we're not okay with that. So what I'm saying is you're gonna stop smoking and drinking at immediate effect. I'm like, this nigga is Ramaphosa-ing me right now. It's like immediate effect. And me growing up in a house where I was with my mom, ne? And like it was just females in the house. We never had a brother or a father. So I've never had a male authority. So for me, it was like, a short circuit. Like I lost it. I think I blacked out at that time because I remember saying to my dad, fuck no. I was like, no, fuck, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna stop smoking. I'm not gonna stop drinking because where were you when I picked up these habits? You were not there in my life. And the anger had levels in my body. Like it was just arising, because I thought about all the times when he could have saved me from picking up bad habits or making bad choices in life. But then you're gonna come when I'm 21 and say, you're gonna stop doing this. I just didn't understand the whole concept of you coming and commanding me, So I was like, fuck no, that's not gonna happen. But what's gonna happen is I'm gonna stop smoking and drinking inside your yard. In the streets, I'm all about the streets, And he didn't take that well. He called my biological mom. He was like, hey, what do I do with this person when she's like this? And, now he started lying. He was just spicing things up, trying to make me look like the bad guy to my mom. But my mom knows me. And we fought about that. And then we were like, you know what, let's just calm down. Let's chill. We both came down. We were calmed, and then I went up to him. I was like, you know what? Oh, my mom called me because after that I was just like, I don't want to talk to her now. After he talked to her. My mom calls me later on. She's like, I understand, but I feel like the situation could have been handled a bit better, And I was like, actually, I see my faults. Let me just go apologize. I went up to my dad. I stated my wrongs. I was like, okay, la being wrong, nani. My dad didn't give me an apology. He was right. He was right all along. And then I accepted the apology I gave myself. And then we moved from there. But from there, I saw that he was trying. I feel like he felt guilty because from there onwards, he could come randomly in my room and just give me random hugs. And that was weird. But I could see he was trying. Or randomly make me food. And I'm like, I'm not hungry, though, but thank you, So I saw from then that, okay, if you're trying, let me reciprocate that. And then we started, being actively trying, not being passive about it, like talking, but actively trying to let's come together and, and in those moments, that's when I saw it. Actually, my dad is not the monster I'd created. Yeah. He's actually a very cool person. He's very caring. In those moments when he did that, the hugs and the food, and I saw that he's very caring. I was like, actually, wow, man, he's a very nice person. So we've been good from there. We've been good. 2021 now. It's another lockdown, and I feel like we both learned from the previous lockdown. We learned how to communicate and be like not direct things via people, but be straightforward with each other and communicate more than anything. So now we're in a good space. We are really trying. So I feel like me and my dad decided to be, yes, we are fishes out of water, but we decided to grow legs on that land and walk and own it, So that's my story of uncomfortability, and it's okay to be uncomfortable, one thing, because in the uncomfortability or uncomfortable space situations, there's space for growth, I feel. So yeah, that's my story. Oh, Muzi, I would love to hear your spicy story.
Yeah. Siyabonga. And umuzi lona, and ngizokutshela ngesitory sami ke back in Mpumalanga. 2006. So, if not mistaken, I was in grade 6. Yeah. Bengisemncane da. And yeah, isikolo ke bokuseseyisikolo la. Hayi lezi zinto zamanje lezi uthola ama ingane ziyaproposana esikolweni. Yizo lezo zinto. I-democracy. Ngalesa sikhathi wawuthi utholakala ukukhuluma nentombazana uzoyikhothi imbenge yomini. Wawuzochaza kahle ukuthi uthini kule ngane yabantu lena ngoba uzofunda lana and futhi uma kungathiwa ngiyatholakala ukuthi ngiyajola ingane zakithi kwakuyi-dismissal phela leyo, straight dismissal. Yeah, and yeah, ngiyakhumbula kuyinkathi ezimnandi lezo. Ngikhumbula ngelinye ilanga like it was during break time bengihlele emva kwe-block yama-grade 3s and yeah ngizidlele i-ice yami ye-50 cent lapha ngilinda ama-gents. Uyabona kushothi ngangiphume kuqala eklasini ngilinda ama-gents lapha esidla nawo sihlala nawo nje sigwara ezinye iy'ngane kube mnandi. Uyayibona leyo nto leyo kuze kuphela i-break. And Paul ke bekayi-best friend yami, best friend. And yeah, uPaul phela ndoda ngamazi kusukela ngiseseyiswana. Ngikhula nje uPaul ulana. Ngicala icrash uPaul ulana. Ngicala ukukhasa ngingasayibali icrash. Ngicala ukukhasa noPaul lana. Ngiye crash, ngiye preschool, siya ku Sunday school sonke, siqala i-primary sonke. Like even abantu bese bayitshela ukuthi mhlambe uPaul i-brother yami or siphuma endlini A1 kanti hayi lutho. Umngane wami. It was my right to die. Yeah. So yeah, uPaul like how ngisahleli lapha ngizidlele i-ice yami avele ke majita noPaul phakathi. Hawu ngimangela amajita like avela ngesivinini like ngomfutho engingakawujwayeli. Ngithi ngisabheke lo ngizwe BB ngapha nangapha bathi ndoda asambeke uyoconfess izono zakho. Ngithi mina ngiyoconfessa ini manje bathi hey baba angisho wena uthe ujola noKarabo. I was like but yeah asambeke uyochaza phambi kwakho uKarabo ukuthi yeah vele wena naye niyajola and kanjani. Uyayibona le. I was like uPaul kanjani because mina nangikhumbula kahle like ngiye ngatshela uPaul yedwa ngamtshela ukuthi mina ngijola noKarabo. Yes vele ngamtshela ngangizibikela mangikhuluma iqiniso. Yes phela bangangazi ukuthi ngelinye ilanga ngizogena i-courage yabona bese ngiyaya lapha kuKarabo ngifike ngiyayibeka indaba yami. Uyayibo but uPaul nase kangihambela phambili like nase kangihambela phambili. I was like oh sorry guys. uKarabo ne sengikhohliwe ukuthi animazi uKarabo like this goddess like yabo. She was the most beautiful girl esikolweni. She was new. Every guy bekamfuna uKarabo. Yabona mfethu ngangithi ngibheka uKarabo qhaqhazele yonke into ngize ngifike la ukushiza. Ibe yinhle le ngane leya. Amazinyayo amhlophe amehlo kungazuthi isnow. Isho ngezwi ndoda elimtoti kwangazuthi inyoni eqhulayo leyo izila le ngane la inhle ngakhona. Hey wena ayayinhle le ngane shem yayingishanga phakathi ngangiyithanda ngakho konke engiyikho. So like okay ngiya-understand abo-Paul sebafikile manje sebayangihudula ngapha nangapha ukuthi mina ngiyoconfessa ezifo mfethu babamba isigebengu esitshontsha amazambane or amatamatisi like hey asambe uyoconfessa izono zakho like into eyangizwisa ubuhlungu kakhulu like wasing uPaul like bokuyo jabule nabo bonke ukuthi like yeah exposure like ayosho uyazibikela. Uyayibona lento leyo ndoda nabo sakhudula ngapha nangapha yey sehla ngale block yama-grade 3 ne sithi siyavela ngapha ekhoneni nangu uKarabo nabangani bakhe beza towards us. I was like shit yabo manje sekushubile ke manje uyeza uKarabo wasuka yena futhi uPaul eqala wagijima waya kibo boKarabo. Sesimile lapha ndoda uPaul uyakhuluma lapha bayahleka uyakhuluma uyajika ngapha uyasipointa ngiyasho ukuthi mara ne uthemba umuntu hayi khona uyajika ngapha uyasipointa uyahleka. And the more ahleka uPaul nabangani bakaKarabo, uKarabo ngiyambona uyatransforma into anger, like uyakwata, uyambona lo mntwana akhipha ijezi same time walibambisa uPaul. Nithi mina happen manje uthe nakeza ngapha towards me, like uza ngapha ugoqa ama-sleeves we-shirt lakhe, ukhipha ama-earrings, ngasho ukuthi yabona manje okay hayi uyayibona ema-movie mos kuna that moment la i-steering khona sesihamba slow motion, uyabona nasesiya for i-revenge, yabo kungazuthi yiyo leso sikhathi ngijuluka ngiyi-one la iteji baba, ngijuluka ngiyi-one nangithi ngizwa amabhruka yaphaphezela ngoba ngazuthi kunomoya kanti akunamoya, yabona namuhla hey ndoda ngithe nangithi papa akusanamuntu eceleni kwami ngisele ngedwa thulekile tu, everyone was ready ukuthi something is about to go down manje, shit's gonna happen, like so hey ndoda uthe nakafika uKarabo la kimi sesibhekene enhlavini zamehlo, akusakhona ukuphuma voice la kimi, akusakhona ukwenza lutho manje like yakhuluma phela lento bayitshela abantu wala uma ngazuthi angisezwa kahle athi uyangizwa ngithi khuluma lento wena na uzibheka wena like ungajola nami wena uke wasibheka esipilini wala mfethu yangiphoqa le yangane le ngahamba kancane okay yangishiya ngikhathele isikolo sonke mfethu sibhekile ama-grade 1 to grade 7 angibhekile ngiyahumiliatewa kanje yo like after lapho ngalinda ukuthi okay manje mhlawumbe kuze detention ke manje like okay ngalinda okay ngenhlanhla detention yangafika but confidence yami yafa kakhulu, like kwaba nzima ukuthi ngiphinde ngibuyele ngiyokhuluma nentombazane esikolweni because like ngangazi ukuthi like okay vele like ngispoiled, like ngimoshakalelwe, like akekho umuntu osazongirespect image yami, like ngaluze confidence kakhulu. And kwangithatha isikhathi ngaze ngaqeda primary ngakaze vele approach intombazana ngayitshela indlela engizizwa ngayo, and ngize ngaqala nje late high school lapho ukuthi ngize ngiphinde ngigene futhi ngikwazi ukukhuluma nabantu besimame. So istory like into engiyifundile kulento eyangenzakalela ukuthi like ungaqamba mama like ukuthi ufuna ukuvela utho like ebantwini like it's okay the way ungakhona like ngiyabonga ngicela ukudlulisela kuno sisi Nonhlanhla.
Okay, ngiyabonga Muzi. So guys, when you were 13, you should like basically your first years as a teenager. You don't think you're a child. You don't even think good to be a teenager, and you don't want to be treated like a kid anymore because you think you're grown now. You think you're an adult. This was exactly me when I was 13. So I was this brave girl, ready to take over the world. I was so brave that I decided to take a trip from Tembisa to Soweto by myself. And that meant passing by Deep Benekant, Ejosi, Egoli, Niwan. But it was brave, So what happened was that my aunt was supposed to fetch me, actually, with my cousins in Soweto. But she couldn't come because she had things to attend to. And how selfish of her, guys. Because that meant me, Namanje, I was stuck at Tembisa for the rest of the entire holidays. So when I found out, guys, I was freaking out. I was shaking. I thought, because I've told the entire neighborhood, hey guys, I am going to Tembisa, I'm going to Soweto. If I see you passing there, I am going to Soweto. If you're doing your own thing, I am going, like, you were gonna know that mina ngiyahamba Soweto. So you can imagine the embarrassment. I was going to be embarrassed. And I thought about my friend, Unana, who is going to laugh the shit out of me. She was going to laugh at me because that meant I was going nowhere and I was stuck in Bisa. And this was the same person that I was bragging to every day. Mina, my aunt is going to take us to Gold Reef City, Baba. We're going to eat ice creams, burgers. She's going to buy us this, she's going to buy us that. That was me. And I was shaking. And I was just thinking about these thoughts. And I'm just thinking, no, there's no way in hell I'm going to spend my holidays at Mbisa.
Yeah.
And so I made up my mind, it's no way. And by that time, not even Jesus himself was going to stop me. Jesus was not going to stop me. I've convinced myself, but I mean, I'm a big girl now. I can go choose by myself. You figure like ngiyayazi Joe's in and out. Ngahlulwa yini? Ngimdala, guess ngina 30, ngimdala. So the next step was to convince my grandmother. You know? So I had to convince my grandmother, good time, and Gogo, I can do this. And I knew that was going to be hard. So now I'm in my room. I'm preparing. I'm gathering all the strength. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I'm thinking, now I want to munch. I'm land. Ngimtshela ukuthi yazini gogo wena uyangiyeka mina ngiyahamba ngiyeSoweto by myself ngimdala manje. And the entire time I'm raising this thing ukuthi mangifika lapha ngizosho kanjani ngizibheke esipilini lapha ngizibheke esipilini ngithi gogo mina ngimdala manje kumele ungiyeke mina ngiyeSoweto ngi1 hayi mina ngithi hayi man zobona ngathi ngiyadelela ngithi yazini gogo mina sengimdala manje ngingaya Soweto ndanye ngilahleke ngithi hayi man no this one gogo mina sengimdala manje ngingaya Soweto ngi1 and ndanye ngilahleke angiyabamba ngithi this is it. So ngiyamlanda lapha. I found my grandmother sitting there and mangifika lapha she's looking at me like she knows what I'm going to say, and I'm just freezing and I'm just thinking to myself, hayi manje I want to go back. I cannot say this, yabo. Ngimile ngihlahlamele. And she says to me, and then wena kuluma yini ongihlahlela amehlo? And I cannot speak. Ngithi mina gogo Nonhlanhla awusakwazi ukukhuluma manje. Gogo ungathini, for example ngithi mina ngiya eSoweto ngi1 and angeke ngize ngilahleke. And there was awkward silence. And that moment ngithi umhlaba awuvuleke phansi ngene. I'm regretting the whole thing. I'm like, why did I say this? Why did I suggest this? And she's like, you want to see me getting arrested, ne? And I'm like, no, Gogo, but mina ne, mina ngaya Soweto ngi1, I can do this by myself. Ngingangena lapha and futhi Jozi ngiyayazi. And uanti ungibonisile ukuthi sihamba kanjani, ngiyahlika kuphi ne-MTN futhi ngiyayazi. So I'm here trying to convince her. I'm pulling all the tricks in the book. Hey, ngilahlela ama-trick. And she's looking at me like she's not convinced. She's not buying my story. But of course, because I'm a good liar, I lie. I'm a good liar. I'm a kid. I lie. She's finally convinced, and I'm like, yay! Soweto, here I come. Habashwi, Ria Soweto. So manje, I'm in a taxi to Johannesburg. I'm in a big city. I'm in a big city. She's a big city. So I remember actually with this, between these two big women, like and they're just squeezing me. I'm squeezing, like, and me, and then I call my fast, like, but yes, but like just thinking about it, this like nothing mattered. Peace, it didn't matter. What mattered was that I'm going to Soweto to see my cousins and be with my cousins. Hi, Vele. We finally get to Joe's. The trip was short. When you're excited, the trip is short. I didn't even see anything. I'm in Johannesburg. I get off at MTN taxi rank, and all of a sudden, man, the city was just too big. Like the city was big. I was like, and I was just this tiny human being, lapaya yazi, and I was so nervous. Like yonke into yapithizela kusejozi man. I'm just like I have teary eyes, and I'm shaking, and I'm thinking to myself, yo, yeah, manje, I am going to be a street kid, straight. I am going to be a street kid, and I'm going to eat from trash cans. I am going to sleep under the bridges. Yo, I am going to be a nyaupe girl. I am going to steal from people. I'm thinking, yo, I'm not going to see my grandmother anymore. Yo, my teacher, my Zulu teacher, I love this Zulu. I'm not going to see my friends, my dog, Sporty. Like, I was just like, yo, like those thoughts just running through my mind. But I get the strength. Him lawyer with my bag. Hi. So I walk from MTN taxi rank, looking for this one tall building that I once saw the last time that I was here. So I'm looking for this building. It's like, yeah, if I find this building, I know what I am near. Ne? The last time, this is somewhere, like it's somewhere. I'm a taxi lapo. I'm a taxi like somewhere lap. So I'm just looking, and anxiety and that time. So as I'm walking around, man, no around in the way one, man, I'm always back at the same place. Around back at the same place. And I'm just like Manglong Begalama building. I just kept on getting smaller and smaller. I'm just like I couldn't find the building. So I ended up at this corner, by KFC. So at this point I believed what I was lost. Like I believed in my heart, now it's finished. I'm going to be a street kid. Yeah, that's it. So I'm by this corner at KFC, and I stood there. I just stood there. I thought maybe Guti, this was the first place they were going to look for me. Mabang phone. If I was lost, this was the first place they were going to look for me. I don't know why. I thought maybe because they know Guti, I love KFC. So the first place they were going to look at me is at KFC. So like really, the place gave me so much hope. I was just hopeful. But maybe I'm going to see my family again. But if they're gonna look for me, then they're gonna find me here. I'm not gonna move from here. Hey, but little did I know, back at home, I was causing chaos because it's been hours since I left. Everyone was worried. My aunt, my aunt was worried, and maybe I should have fetched Lomtwana because this was her fault first of all. And my grandmother was there, my police station, running up and down, trying to open a missing child's case. Poor woman thought it was her fault because she allowed me to go. So all this time I am sitting by myself, like a KFC, I'm hungry as hell. I'm just inhaling this fried chicken, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is gonna be my life now. And this strange woman comes to me and she says to me, are you waiting for someone? Because it was a woman, I just felt safe. Did I not cry? I cried, guys. I cried. And all of a sudden it hit me that, I was just a child, I was not this adult that I thought I was. And I was scared. I was vulnerable. I still needed to be guided. And at that moment, I just needed to be home. But reflecting to it now, I wish I was that kid again, take risk and just, like, just be brave. Because I don't think that now, at this point, I am as brave as that kid was. That kid, got me out of my comfort zone. And I did something that I never thought I would do. So, that is my story.
Whoa. Wow. Thank you so much, guys. Your stories. I'm sure Langapanja, our listeners, there's someone who relates to each and every story, So Wangumuntu Zwele, everyone heard for themselves. We've all found ourselves in very uncomfortable situations or points in our lives, But what do you decide to do as an individual? Do you decide to sink or swim? Do you decide to drown or grow legs on land and walk? You decide, bitch. Bye. It was amazing talking to you guys.